It starts with a letter, a neatly printed notice slipped into your mailbox, or worse, taped to your front door. At first glance, it seems harmless. A small fine for a minor infraction. A weed too high, a mailbox not painted, your car parked an inch off center. You laugh it off. But what if that fine is just the beginning? What if that letter is the first crack in a system designed to drain, control, and punish you, right where you live? Homeowners associations were created to protect property values, to keep neighborhoods clean, orderly, and harmonious. But behind the perfectly trimmed lawns and pastel-colored fences lies a power structure that few truly understand. These boards, often run by unelected volunteers, hold legal authority to impose fines, place liens, and even foreclose on your home. All without a courtroom, all without due process. And the problem isn't just abuse, it's secrecy. Most homeowners don't know the rules until they've already broken them. HOAs bury their regulations in dense documents, enforce them unevenly, and hide behind the idea of community standards. But who defines those standards? And who benefits when you break them? Across America, there are stories of families losing their homes over a few $100s in fines. Veterans, seniors, single parents, people who dared to ask questions or simply missed a payment. This isn't about grass height anymore. It's about unchecked authority, disguised as neighborhood decorum. The question isn't whether you've broken a rule, it's how much power they have when you do. Imagine waking up one morning to a tow truck hauling your car away. You rush outside, confused, panicked, only to find a bright orange sticker slapped on your windshield. The HOA claims it's an unauthorized vehicle, but this is your driveway, your home, your property. And in an instant, it doesn't feel like yours anymore. This is the heart of the HOA system. Control masked as order. You pay dues, you follow the rules, but step out of line, and they act like landlords, not neighbors. The board doesn't need your permission, they don't answer to public officials, and their decisions can override your sense of fairness, justice, even ownership. What's worse is the fine print. Many HOAs are partnered with private law firms that profit directly from your violations. A $50 trash bin fine becomes $500 with processing fees and legal correspondence. Miss a deadline, and the clock starts ticking. Interest piles up, a lien appears, and before you know it, your equity is under siege. It's not just punishment, it's profit. There are HOAs that weaponize the legal system, exploiting homeowners who can't afford to fight back. And if you dare to challenge them, be prepared for retaliation, anonymous complaints, sudden citations, harassment masked as policy. This is not community governance, it's quiet tyranny, legalized extortion hidden behind the American dream. And the worst part? Most people don't see it until it's too late. What happens when you try to fight back? You attend a board meeting, you raise your hand, you speak calmly, respectfully, and then you're dismissed, ignored, sometimes even silenced. You realize very quickly, this isn't democracy, it's a closed circle, and you're not in it. Homeowners who challenge their HOAs often find themselves targeted. Selective enforcement, surprise inspections, violations for things they never noticed before. That patriotic flag you've flown for years, now it's too large. That flower bed your kids planted, suddenly it's a zoning issue. The illusion of fairness cracks when you see who gets fined and who doesn't. Rules applied inconsistently. Favors granted to friends of the board. The lines blur between neighborly oversight and personal vendetta. And behind it all, lawyers ready to escalate, not to mediate, but to intimidate. Some homeowners have spent thousands fighting fines they never agreed to, rules they never voted on, penalties they couldn't afford. The stress isn't just financial, it's psychological. You no longer feel safe in your own home. You avoid your neighbors. You dread the mail. You question every move. This is how HOAs control, not through physical force, but psychological pressure. They don't knock down your door, they make you afraid to open it. And if you want justice, you better have deep pockets. Because in the HOA system, justice is expensive and often out of reach. And then, one day, the line gets crossed. A lien is filed against your home, not by the bank, not by the government, but by your HOA. Over a few fines, a late fee, maybe a miscommunication, and now they can legally force the sale of your home. It sounds unthinkable, but it happens every year, in quiet neighborhoods, in peaceful suburbs, families evicted, not by a court, but by a neighborhood board. You were never told this could happen when you bought your house. The paperwork didn't shout it, the agent didn't warn you. But buried in the documents was the truth. You were never fully in control. You were renting ownership from a system that doesn't always act in your best interest. And this is the dark truth. HOAs are not always the villain, but they are a system ripe for abuse, with minimal oversight, with maximum authority, and with consequences that can destroy lives. There are good boards, good neighbors, honest people trying to help their communities, but there are also power-hungry ones, petty ones, profit-driven ones. And if you end up under the wrong one, your dream home can quickly become a legal nightmare. So before you ignore that fine, before you assume it's just a slap on the wrist, look deeper. Read the rules, know your rights, because the HOA doesn't just control your lawn, it can control your life. If you've ever felt trapped in your own neighborhood, subscribe to HOA Warzone. We expose the truths others won't and give you the mindset to fight back with strength, not fear.